Hi everyone, my name is Chris, or the Jazz Guy 13 Aviation. If you've been following me on my YouTube videos the past 5 years, it's pretty obvious that 99% of my content involves aviation, trains, or some kind of transportation. And to some extent, this video will fit that bill, but this will undoubtedly be a much different video. It'll be the first time I make one solely about a town. One place. A very special place, this being Barrow, Alaska. And we are here, guys, for Barrow. Just walking in the hotel room. So my goal with this video is to kind of show this town and everything about it, which is what it's titled. We're staying here 2 nights, so I will try my best to show every nook and cranny of this town and what it's like to live in the northernmost town in the United States, Utqiagvik, or Barrow, Alaska. So this is the Top of the World Hotel. It's one of just 2 hotels here in Barrow. The other one is the King Elder Inn, which actually was sold out for the night, so I'm glad that they have some room here. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not from Barrow, obviously, so I can't show how it is to live in this town, only how it's like for an outsider to spend a few days here. But already, just stepping into this hotel room, the plane we came in on, the only ride in or out of this town, lifts off in the distance and quickly disappears through the fog. A very interesting feeling. Like I said, there are 2 hotels in Barrow, one being the King Elder Inn, which is actually located right across from the airport, just walking distance, and the other being the Top of the World Hotel, which is closest to what's supposed to be the main site, in quotations, to see for visitors. Welcome to the Bone Arch here in Barrow, the most popular thing in this town to come see. We got some whale bones, a nice old fishing boat, a cast of some boat, and that's about it. All joking aside, there is much more to this special place than just the Whale Arch. Utqiagvik, which is the local Inupiat translation, it's no ordinary place. It's a place of extremes, of beauty, of togetherness, isolation, but most importantly, adaptation. It's a town that sits on the north slope of Alaska, 300 miles within the Arctic Circle, where the ocean is frozen for most of the year, where not a single tree grows, where the sun never sets in the summer, and the darkness sweeps the land in the winter. It's where polar bears frequently roam the icy shores, and where whale hunting is legal and a local delicacy and of huge cultural importance. If you do come to Barrow yourself and want to learn about the local culture, you can head to the Inupiat Heritage Center, located a short walk from the Top of the World Hotel. Now, my friend Justin and I were a little too invested in getting enough footage for our videos that we didn't have a chance to go inside, but if you are looking for something to do, I do hear it's worth a visit. Most of the people in Barrow are of Inupiat descent and are believed to have been here for close to 1,500 years. Now, because of the strong oil industry here in nearby Prudhoe Bay, there are noticeably much more outsiders in the town, but the culture definitely seems to be ever present and not diminished in the slightest. Alright guys, walking into the grocery store here, if I know one thing about this town, it's everything is overpriced. It's very expensive. So let's see what the stuff costs. But why is everything so expensive here? It's actually a very simple answer. Everything has to be shipped in. More specifically, flown in, which naturally raises the prices on a lot of goods. For instance, $13 for milk, $10 for a box of cereal, over $7 for Pop-Tarts, $10 for potato chips, $11 for a pack of buns, and $50 for a pack of paper towels. Are you kidding me? Yep, that's really how much things cost here in Barrow. It looks like a normal grocery store. It feels like a normal supermarket. It has the same exact items for sale, but 90% of things just cost 2 to 5 times what it should. You're probably wondering right about now, how can people living here afford all this stuff on a weekly basis? Well, compared to the median yearly household income of roughly $53,000 a year in the lower 48, it's about $83,000 up here. So it does balance itself out in the end. With Utqiagvik being the economic center of the North Slope Barrow, there's a lot of government jobs in the town. And the other economy is, as I said earlier, oil. Speaking of which, what I thought would have been crazy high, the price of gas per gallon in Barrow is $5.50 for regular and $6.20 for diesel. Still very high, but at the same time this video was shot, LA's price for regular was above $6. $5.50 a gallon? And I was complaining back home when it was above $3. Unfortunately, you can't escape the high prices in restaurants either. Whether you go to the hotel's restaurant Utqiagvik or the Northern Lights restaurant, Arctic Pizza, Osaka's, Sam and Lee's, a Filipino shop right next to the hotel, or any other place, you will likely be set back at least $10 for any meal. On average, I spend about $50 a day on food in Barrow, and that was trying to be conservative, even skipping breakfast a day or two. But while your pockets empty quicker than usual, the food definitely usually made up for it just a bit. Good morning from Barrow, Alaska. It's currently 1:30 and it's sleeting. That's nature's way of saying it's time to get up. And no kidding, there are 2 things that really stood out to me the most while in this Arctic town. One was the frozen Arctic Ocean, but 2 was the famous and absolutely gorgeous midnight sun. Guys, first off, if I seem drunk, I'm not. My face is just frozen. But yeah, so you don't have to hear my slurred speech and the constant wind. What I was trying to say is how special this moment really is. It's one of those times in life where you really step back and appreciate what you have and how lucky you are to be in such a special place. It's not a luxury resort in the Caribbean, a penthouse suite in the Big Apple, a mansion in the hills, or even a relaxing cruise through the Mediterranean. No, it's a small town on the edge of the world with the absolute friendliest people and just some small homes and a few businesses that has one of the most unique experiences someone can have in their life. It's just not something I can totally describe in words. You really have to be there for yourself. But it's totally worth that frozen face. Okay guys, got a good night's sleep, and now I'm gonna do something that I wouldn't live with myself if I didn't do coming to the Arctic. I have a pool right here in front of me, behind the camera, and I'm gonna do the famous polar plunge. Now unfortunately, as you can see behind me, the Arctic is still very frozen, and there's not a whole lot of deep spots. In fact, there's no deep spots at all. So there's just like these little tiny pools that are maybe knee high, maybe more. It's just not the right time of year to be doing like the full body polar plunge. That'll be like later in the summer when the Arctic unfreezes. But I'm not here in August. I'm here in June, and I gotta do this. So time to get wet. Alright, so my plan is to very quickly do this. I have a rain jacket here so my feet don't get like crushed from this ice. I have a towel ready. I have a sweatshirt, and then I'm gonna put these shoes like right there, and the socks. I got 2 pairs of pants. I'm gonna quickly put that on afterwards. I got a camera there, and Justin's over there. It should take probably as least amount of time as possible so I don't get hypothermia or something. So, alright, here we go. Alright, we're going for it. Let's see that one more time. I'm actually not that cold. Really?
Braver than me.
Oh.
Going Alaska, but you're braver than me.
I had to do it.
You know how cold the water is?
It's very cold. Alright guys, I did it. It actually feels great. Everything's warm, the sun definitely helps. As you saw, it's not that deep because the ice is still pretty thick here. But I tried to put my butt on the ground and get my whole body as much as I could wet. I tell you, I really wish I could have done the full body polar plunge, but without a saw or drill, it was impossible with the thickness of the ice. However, because the Arctic was still frozen, it did give us the opportunity to walk quite far out and really get the true feeling of being oh so close to the North Pole. When it's foggy out, as it often is in Barrow, it doesn't even seem like you're on planet Earth sometimes. It's that surreal. But with the amazing views of the frozen Arctic does of course come with some dangers, most notably polar bears. In fact, the hotel staff warned us upon our arrival that they were spotted a few days beforehand just outside the Whale Arch. This carcass is a good guess what they were doing here. I honestly really wanted to see polar bear, but it was definitely for the best that we didn't, as we had no bear spray or guns on us, and polar bears are the most aggressive of the 3 types of bears, the others being the black bears and brown bears. Still, just can't get away from that beauty though of the frozen Arctic Ocean. This and the midnight sun, absolute best things to see in Barrow. As you can see, there's just no other place like this in the US. You probably have to go to places like Nuuk or Svalbard to experience something close to what Barrow is like. It's a game of survival and adaptation, all possible by the airport, which is pretty much the lifeblood of Utqiagvik. For all but a month or two of the year, airplanes are the only means into or out of this town, both for people and cargo. Only when the ice unfreezes in the summer for a few months can ships come in with larger supplies and goods before it starts getting colder again. Now, you may be wondering, well, what about trucks and cars? There are no roads out of Barrow. The plane for 10 plus months of the year is the only way in or out. Unless you're up for a multiple day trek on the ice down south, which is only possible if it's thick enough for vehicles. But besides that, you can only drive around the town, and because of the constant weather changes and shifting land year round, all roads are made of dirt. And because of that, it can get quite dusty when they're dry, so water trucks routinely spray the streets to minimize the dust for cars and ATVs. In the winter though, there's no problem as roads stay snow covered. That's when most people turn to snowmobiles. The only pavement you'll find is the runway at the airport, as it's needed for Alaska's 737s and the cargo jets. While Barrow isn't like any other American city, it does have everything a normal city would have though. There's several grocery stores, a post office, fire station, police station, public works building, a bank, courthouse, an elementary school, high school, surprisingly a small college, a car repair shop, a barber shop, several churches, a radio station, a wellness center, and a decently sized hospital, which honestly looks pretty nice compared to the rest of the buildings in town. It's a fully self-sustaining US small town that just happens to be the northernmost in the country. Well, with this shot here in the hotel, it's about that time. It's about 1:30 a.m. on the third day that we're here in Barrow, and it's also our last day, as today is our flight back. Have to get some sleep, try to get some sleep for the next 7 hours, and get a little more filming done in the morning before the flight comes in at about 2 p.m. I think. So, time to get some sleep. It just went around again. Yeah. It just did a go around.
We will be getting you reworked on getting rescheduled here for tomorrow's flight.
So, yeah, just as I thought I'd be leaving Barrow, fog rolled in while we slept and our flight couldn't land. Flights getting canceled here is actually more common than you think, which strands everyone up here till the next day. Well guys, we're back to the top of the world hotel for one more night. Oh gosh, hopefully this doesn't last another night. Thank you guys. Since we got stuck here, kind of gives us some more chances to check out a little more of the town. I mean, we've pretty much seen everything, but Walking through some of the neighborhood streets under heavy fog, it then really dawned on me how remote this place is. The amount of old vehicles and junk around, like these old Alaska bag cars, is just staggering. But there's really no place to put them once they're kaput. There's no junkyards, so they just are placed anywhere.
Tell you what, guys, it's almost like 1 o'clock. The day we're delayed. Kind of getting used to this all daylight thing. Could do a lot more whenever you want. It's kind of nice. Maybe one more delay, one more cancellation.
Okay, maybe not.
Maybe 2 more.
Maybe not.
No, we gotta go back. But it's been nice, really nice.
Goodbye, Barrow. All right, let's try this one more time. Off to the airport. Thankfully, the fog lifted. The halo sun kept spinning around, and our new flight was confirmed to come in today. Time to head back down to Anchorage. Alright guys, just came off the flight from Barrow. That'll conclude this amazing, awesome, interesting trip. Truly a once-in-a-lifetime trip. I do have to give a big shout out to the pilots, as you just saw on the montage. They literally flew all the way around Denali. I mean, what a way to end this trip. The views on both flights in and out, the scenery all around Barrow, Utqiagvik, tremendous. The people that we met and talked to, just so friendly there. It's such a small place with just 5,000 people, and it really feels tight-knit. Everybody knows each other, and that's what I like about it so much, that you don't find in the big cities. Anyway, what an amazing experience. I hope I can get back to this place at some point, maybe in the winter, although that would be pretty interesting. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video of life in Barrow, Alaska, the northernmost town in the USA. What a trip. Catch you guys on the next one.